Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of GBear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And here we are looking at the temperature gauge. This is in the shade outside, 67 degrees. We're going to step around into the inside of the cabin here and take a quick look. And it's a 1 mile an hour wind with 71 degrees out in the sun. And it's 3:34 in the afternoon on January 27th, 2019. And yes, it's a beautiful day. I'm actually, the sound you hear is I am doing a load of, well, the second load of laundry. The first load is in the dryer. I've got it set for air fluff. And we're going to get the laundry done today because it's actually one of those days where flip-flops, shorts, and no shirt. And yeah, I'm out working on my tan ever since this morning right after breakfast. Just beautiful day out here. Sunshines, lollipops, and rainbows. Yes, and geoengineers. Let's see if we can zoom in on him. I don't know if you can see him or not. All right, anyway. That's him going up right there. So they got a few of them out trying to cloud this place in, and of course they've predicted, well, let's see. One group has predicted rain for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Another group says just Friday. Another group says just Saturday. So I'm going to bet on just Saturday and probably not here. But I'm all ready for it anyway. As we saw yesterday, I did get the roof on my back porch, so I am weather tight and ready to catch rain. Now, some people were talking about not using the water that comes off of this type of asphalt shingles because of the chemicals that are in the shingles. Yes and no. What you're going to get mostly off of there is silicone, because it's all the little grit that's on there that comes off. If I was going to be using this water to run into my water tank for consumption use or a cabin use, of course it would also go through a triple filtration system and break it down to a 1/2 micron. And then put it through a carbon filter and a chemical filter so that I could take anything that's in the water out of the water before I consume it. And I do have one of those filters in the cabin. Even though I'm getting my water delivered up to my big water tank, I still filter it before I drink it. The only part that doesn't get filtered is the stuff that goes into the shower and so forth and so on. All right. That being said, yes, if you're going to consume your water, you got more to worry about than what comes off the roof. At that point, you would put a first flush system in. And what a first flush system would be is, you can see where this pipe comes out of the gutter. Well, I'd have a Y in there with a piece coming straight down, okay? And then off that piece that's coming straight down, I'd have a cap on the bottom with a small valve so I can let water out when I wanted to. And then I put a float inside of that tube. Okay, so the first water that comes down off the roof would go straight down into that straight down pipe. And it would cause the float to float upward until it got to the T where it would stop and it would block off the water from coming down and let the water go that way. So stuff like bird crap and things like that that's on your roof would get first flushed out. Now, you don't waste that water. When the rain stops, you can put a bucket underneath it and drain it off, and you can still use that for your plants. But you do want a first flush system on it if you're going to be using the water for consumption. Okay, that's one thing. The other one was, Natasha thought that maybe I would be not being able to take outdoor showers again. And if you noticed, I just walked through right here where the shower used to be, because the shower's over here up against the container now. I've still got to take the barrels down and change the two bottom connections on it, because that RTV silicone is leaking on the blue barrel. But I'll change them both to make sure that I don't have to do it again. And this white pipe going up here, of course, I don't know if you missed that video, but that's how I fill that. I can pull my ATV over here with my little water barrels on my cart, and then I hook the pump up. And this is a female garden hose connection. So the end of the male end goes into there, and it touches down, open the valve, turn the pump on, and I pump the water up into the barrels. Now both barrels are tied together in the back with a yoke, so both barrels will fill up from filling one side. That's how that works. But I still got this here, and you can see now my line comes up out of the back here and still goes up to connect there. And I've got a new piece of insulation here to replace that short piece. And I dug down to where it was teed into the main line underneath there, and repiped it. It comes around and goes under there. Now you see the little hole right there. You see the little holes all the way around, because I did grade all this area. And I got it so that the water would flow out in a swale just before the porch and go around and then go in front of the other porch and down the road. Well, I let the chickens out to free range today, and you can see their footprints over here. Okay. Well, the first thing they did was come over here and start digging in the dirt that I moved around. And then they took themselves a dirt bath. And then they come up out of the dirt and shake it off. It's all over my porch. So I set the broom out here, and I'll clean that up when I'm done with this video. But yeah, they had a ball out here, running all over the place, eating up all the new green grass coming up. And I'm going to sneeze. Achoo! Excuse me. And I also got my scaffolding set up over here by my turbine post. That's the bottom half of it. The top half of it is right there. But one pot piece is going to go like it is, right up against the pole. The other one comes over here, right about where my shadow is. And then I put the other two on there. And that gets me up to just about where the guy wires are tied on. Just maybe a foot below the guy wires. So when I'm standing on the top shelf of that with my planks going across, that I work on that thing right at eye level. So I'll be taking that down. I'll probably do it on one of the days when my friend Andy is up here, and that way I don't have to go up and down 1,000 times. He could just tie things onto a rope, and I'll hoist them up to where I got to go. And we're going to get that turbine changed out this year and get to 1685 KT5, and that's a 5-blade unit. And in the average winds I get around here, I should be putting out anywhere from 600 to 800 watts. Now remember, I told you before in one of the other videos, when you buy a turbine and it says 500 watts max, 300 watts max, 400 watts max, that amount of output is not what you're going to get all the time out of that turbine. That's what you get when that turbine is spinning at the maximum speed it can spin with the type of blades it has on it before it goes into what they call a stall. Just like an airplane propeller reaches its stall speed. That's as fast as that plane can go, because that's as fast as the propeller can push it. Well, the same thing with the propellers on these things. They reach a certain capacity or a certain wind speed. They can't go any faster than that, so that's what they're rated at. So this one up here is supposed to be a 400 watt unit max, and it's supposed to max out at 55 miles per hour. So at 55 miles per hour, I'm supposed to be getting 400 watts out of that. Well, I know that's not true, because I was clocking winds at 60 miles per hour, and I was only getting about 200 watts out of it. So that's half of what it should be putting out. It's a piece of junk. It's coming down. It's going to become a squirrel chaser, and I'll drill a hole in one of the wings if I have to, or maybe I'll just take the hub and wings off that. I'll build my own extra turbine, and I'll put that one somewhere else. But remember that when you're buying a turbine, the maximum rating is what it's going to put out only when it reaches its maximum speed. the KT5 1685 watts. We'll put that out at 93 miles per hour. So at 93 miles per hour, I'm never going to see out here. But on the 20, 30, 40 mile an hour winds, I'm going to be putting just half or a little less than half out. Well, that's fine. You know, that I'm looking at putting out 800 watts at half. So that's great. If I'm putting 800 watts all night long, I'm not running anything. I'm sleeping. The only thing running in there is a refrigerator and some lights and LED lights on the stove and microwave and the clocks and things like that. So I'll have extra power all night long. And where's that extra power going to go? Well, it's going to one of them is going to be connected to the black barrel there, so I'll have hot water at the shower. And the other one, I've got a heat disperser unit that's inside of the battery room. That will end up going in the chicken coop with a switch on it. Oh, look at that. There's a monarch butterfly right there. So we know spring's in the air if the monarchs are coming around. See him fluttering? Whoop, there he goes. Cool. And I saw the first lizard out. Okay, so I forgot where I was, so we're going to skip past all of that. I was inside the cage today looking at the plants. Everything's doing great. I picked some of the grass that I planted in there that's growing like crazy and fed it to the chickens. They loved it. And they're starting to pick back up on their egg production. I had 6 eggs again today. So they went all the way down to 2 eggs a day and came back up to 6. Look in here. Yeah, just wild grass. I found these little spuds growing all over the place out there. And I went along with my little garden shovel, dug them up and put them in there. And I'm going to plant a platter of nice big green grass because the chickens love it. And let them go and munch on it whenever they want to. All right, I think that's about all I needed to cover for today. Again, beautiful day out. Working on my tan. I don't know what time I'm going to head inside, but I'm getting my laundry done. Today is Sunday, and Sunday's basically my laundry day as long as the weather permits. I've had a couple of Sundays where I couldn't do laundry. And that's about it. We'll get to some more stuff tomorrow. I'm going to get ready to take this load off the line because out here, that dryer really, it's a high efficiency dryer. I'm telling you, it uses no electricity and it dries clothes like sheets and pillowcases and that stuff in like 20 minutes. Outstanding dryer. I don't really make of it. It doesn't have any label on it, but it is a good dryer and it leaves clothes smelling fresh. Don't forget, if you like my videos, give me a thumbs up down there, please. And don't forget to leave comments, questions, snide remarks. I don't care. Just leave something down on the bottom. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And when you subscribe, leave a short comment so I can welcome you aboard. I try to do that to everybody. GBear signing off.